and welcome back to my channel. I know it has been a while, but it has been a crazy hectic few weeks, and that is why I thought today I would do a little catch-up Q&A, because I feel like doing a vlog wouldn't really cover sort of everything that I would want to cover, and just I know a lot of you have been messaging me with questions about how the course is going, how London's going, etc. So I thought it would just be best to do a little catch up with me style video. I always really love chatting to you guys, and you guys sent me your questions over on Instagram, so I'm going to try my best to answer them. First question is, how are you? And I always think this is a good one to start with, because I definitely feel like it's the hardest question to answer, because I am good, but at the same time I'm also not. It's a very, very weird time at the moment. I'm absolutely loving life in London. I'm really lucky that I've made really good friends on the course, and I'm loving living with Rob, and there are so many good things about life at the moment, but equally I have really been struggling mentally and just emotionally, just with changes and like adapting, and just feeling like I can't really spin all the plates, if that makes sense. Just a forewarning, the lighting in this video is, I actually despair, because I have got my ring light on and I've got my curtains closed, but the light, the sun keeps coming in and out of the clouds, and there's literally nothing I can do about that because my curtains are like paper thin. So I'm really sorry if the lighting is just on and off through this whole video, but I've tried my best to mitigate the impact. So this might be a bit TMI, but it's not really TMI because a lot of women take the contraceptive pill. But basically I took my, right, that lighting is gonna really annoy me. A normal sort of, you know, combined pill, you tend to take 3 weeks on and a week off, and the week off is kind of like you don't need to take it, and you can take your pill sort of back to back, but I tend not to do that, just because normally I just prefer sort of having the 3 week on, 1 week off cycle. But this month I decided to take them back to back, because I'd done it once before and it did not end well. But I thought that that actually wasn't because of the pill. I thought that I was just having a bit of a rough time. And I took it back to back this month because I just didn't really want the break, and a lot of my friends take it back to back and it really works for them. And it just does not. It does not work for me in any way, shape or form. I will not be doing it again, and I've told everyone in my life, if I ever so much as mention doing it again, to just not. Last week was an absolute car crash. Right, seriously, I go to film, the light is a mess, people decide to suddenly rearrange their entire houses, people are screaming. It's not good. So last week I actually got this really weird sinusy head cold, and I was just absolutely shattered. To be fair, looking back, I think it might have been COVID, but like a mild sort of like third time of COVID, because I was just asleep. I was so tired, I felt awful. I have really tried not to miss a day of this course, but I had to miss 2, or was it 3 days of the course last week, 'cause I just felt genuinely so rough. And I couldn't stop crying. Honestly, I've never cried so much as I have last week, and it was about everything. Tiniest things, I was having life crises about the biggest things. Like, honestly, I was questioning everything. Like, everything in my life I was questioning, to the point where I was even questioning if I want to do a journalism course, if I want to be a journalist, which is really not something I've doubted before, since deciding that that's what I want to do. And I was an absolute mess. God love Rob, because it was a bit of a, I was a bit of a loose cannon last week. But I think it just was kind of a really bad combination of the stress of the course, which is very stressful, and the fact that I had exams this week, which I'll go on to talk about, and the hormones, and just everything kind of getting on top of me, and just realising that I'm not at uni anymore, and that's also something I'm going to talk about in this video. But I was not doing well, and I can't lie to you, I definitely have just sort of been feeling a bit lower in mood at times, and I have sort of been feeling a bit but I spoke about that in my last Q&A, about how after you kind of graduate from uni, you do just feel a bit like lost, and a bit like everything just feels a bit weird and temporary, and it's just very bizarre, and you just don't really... We get it, you're reversing. We get it, you're reversing. You don't need to tell the whole world that you're reversing, okay? But yeah, that feeling hasn't really gone away yet. It's not like something that weighs on me every day, but I've definitely felt a bit more emotionally fragile, and just a little bit confused with what is going on with my life recently, and there has been a lot of doubt and just questioning and stuff that I thought would kind of go away once I started this course, but it hasn't really, and I'm sure it will at some point, and a lot of you really related to what I was talking about and said that it does eventually settle and you start to feel more certain in yourself. But I know a lot of people say that your 20s is a time of like really big uncertainty, and that you do kind of just feel like you're making it up as you go along. So I'm just embracing that for the moment. It has definitely been difficult, but yeah, I think I'm definitely struggling a little bit to keep all the plates spinning, which is why YouTube has I've really struggled to upload, because I know that the course is 9 to 5, and like that is a big change from uni, because I was very much like, I organised my own time and I was working 7-8 hours most days, but I could do it on my terms. And I do struggle a little bit with the whole commute 8 hours in one place and you have to be there and leave, not for any reason other than that it's just a change in routine. This is just adult life, and so I'm not saying that this is me only in this situation, but it just feels like you're putting out fires everywhere. So you come home and like you do the laundry on the weekend, and then suddenly there's laundry again, and you do the washing up and suddenly there's washing up, and it feels like no matter how much Rob and I try and do, the flat just gets messy. The problem is that I hate mess, and I cannot stand things like not being in their place and where they're supposed to be. But that means that in the 2 hours of an evening that I have to relax, I'm up and doing stuff, and Rob is like, sit down and relax, and I'm like, I can't relax until everything's tidy, and I really wish I wasn't like that. And then I've got YouTube to do, and I'm trying to fit social in, and I feel like I'm like not seeing my friends, or like not replying to my friends as much, and I just feel like everything is being done mediocrely rather than some things being done really well. I think I will definitely get used to that, and I think at the moment I definitely have less free time than I would have if I was in a job, because I'm doing the 9 to 5, but then there's also YouTube on top of that, and there's also the work that you have to do outside the course, like coursework, revision, etc. So this is definitely the busiest I've been in a long time, probably busier than I was at uni, but I definitely am just feeling a bit like, if that makes sense. The next one is, and a bit more of a positive note, is your favourite part of adult life. My favourite part of adult life is that you can do whatever you want. I love it, honestly. I just love that you just have the complete freedom to not do stuff or do stuff. If I want to leave my washing up for 3 days, which I don't normally, but like if I did, then I can. If we've got dinner at home but we actually just fancy going out for a bite to eat, we can. When you're an adult, no one's making your decisions for you. You can just do what you like, and obviously that is kind of crippling in a way, because there's no structure and there's no one to sort of like, you know, stop you doing anything. But I love that. I love that I could decide after this course, no, I don't want to be a journalist, actually. I want to be an acrobat. I couldn't do that, but you know what I mean. Everything's open to you, and as scary as that is, and as much as that is also my least favourite thing about adult life, I think you guys will understand what I mean, in that like you just feel like, not to be cheesy, but the world is literally your oyster. Like there is so much you can do, especially at this age where you've not got a mortgage, you've not got kids, you've not got anything that's keeping you in one place. It's great, and I'll come back to that later in the video. The next one is, how are you keeping your languages up? If I'm being brutally honest, I'm not, and it's actually really like, it was really upsetting me. That's one of the things that I'm getting kind of upset about, because by the time I've got home, I have sorted my life out, I have done my work for the course, I've done YouTube stuff. Like I honestly have about an hour in the evening to myself most nights, and normally I just watch something and I fall asleep halfway through it, and I'm asleep by like 10:30 because I'm just so tired. So my languages have just not even got a look in. I try and listen to podcasts in my languages, but equally I kind of need to be listening to news podcasts because I need to be up to date on the news, and so it's really not getting a look in at the moment. If anyone has graduated and has any tips when you're quite busy to keep your languages going without, you know, moving to that country or like whatever, please let me know, because I just don't really know. I don't want to lose them, obviously, but I don't know how best to keep them, because obviously I was dedicating pretty much my whole day to learning them, and now my day is dedicated to lots of other different things. I was going to be mean and leave this question till the end of the video, because I feel like that's probably why most of you have clicked on this, but I feel like I'm going to put it here now because I actually just can't wait to tell you. Someone has said, what are the plans for after your course? Well guys, so I always knew that when I finished this course I didn't want to go straight into a job. I am very fortunate that I have some savings tucked away from YouTube, and I've saved pretty much like the vast majority of my YouTube income over the years. And so I sort of knew that I wanted to take a couple of months before I got a job. I just wanted some time before starting all of that and getting on the career treadmill and everything like that, and I knew that that was what I wanted to do. And the reason that I didn't take the 6 months before the course was because I felt like I was on a bit of a momentum from uni, and I kind of wanted to get the course done and then rest, if that makes sense, because I felt like I was still really psyched up about education. I was still very much in the headspace, so it made sense to do that and then take some time out. As you guys know, my wonderful friend Molly is moving to Australia, I think literally in about 5 days when I'm filming this. She's moving out there with her boyfriend Tom, and my other friend Liv is out there living and working at the moment, and I was always going to go and visit them while they were out there, because I've always wanted to go to Australia. I've always wanted to go to Australia, but I never really had a reason to go. And then when Molly and Liv both said they were going out there for a pretty long period of time, I was like, right, okay, I think that this is a sign from the universe. It's my time to go and see them. So I was looking at flights to go and visit them, and I thought, oh, maybe I'll do a bit of traveling while I'm over there, obviously, because it wouldn't really make sense to go and not see some of Australia. And then, I cannot believe this, but I got an email from my adventure project, and I'm sure if you guys follow any other influencers that I've been remotely acquainted with over the years, you will see that Lydia, for example, just did a 6-week trip up the East Coast with her boyfriend with my adventure project, and I was lucky enough to be contacted by them, and they asked if I would like to do the same. And honestly guys, that was so not on my radar for 2023. But I was sat there and I got the email, and I looked at Rob and I thought, I feel like I have to do this. I feel like this is an opportunity that I really can't turn down, even though I'd never planned to sort of do the backpacking thing. And he was like, absolutely, you have to go. And I'm honestly so buzzing. So I'm not actually going with Rob, I'm actually going solo, which is really, really scary. Number one, because the only time that I could really do this was straight after my course finishes, which is at the end of January, early February. That was the only time that it would really make sense for me to go. And Rob's course finishes in July, so there's not really any way that he can take like 7 weeks out of his masters. And two, because I felt like I really needed to do this for me. Not in like a selfish, like I don't want anybody there with me way, but I've never really solo traveled. I obviously lived abroad alone on my year abroad, but I wasn't really traveling. I did kind of like put roots down and like make friends, and I had people there that I knew. So I've never just gone somewhere alone really for any long period of time. And I am very good at my own company, but I'm not great in my own company. And I feel like doing something like this, which is just so out of my comfort zone, like I'm literally doing a skydive, like just all of this, doing 6 weeks in Australia, doing a skydive, doing the whole of the East Coast alone is just so alien to me. And that was why I felt like I needed to do it, because uni was my comfort zone 100%. Even moving abroad, like it was definitely difficult, but I could speak the language. Not that I can't speak language in Australia, but you know, like I felt like it was a settled kind of familiar routine after a while. This is just not like that at all. And I think the biggest thing I've ever done like this is when I went to Peru for a month and I volunteered over in Peru, but I still did that with 2 of my friends from uni and another friend. So this is the first time I'm just going, right, I'm gonna do something for me. I'm gonna go and explore and see the sights. I'll definitely see Molly and Liv while I'm over there, but I am going for myself. Like this tour will be done with different people. It's gonna push me to be better in my own company. It's gonna push me to just be more curious and say yes to more things. And I just think it's a really great opportunity that I couldn't really pass up. So I'm going, I think I'm going the first week of February, and I'm coming back at the end of March, so it's going to be amazing. I am of course going to vlog all of it, and it's also been really great because I feel like it's really reignited kind of my passion for filming things and documenting things, because as you know, I sometimes get in my head about, oh my god, like, am I too boring for YouTube now? I know you guys really love the mundane videos and stuff, but I really did want to do a set of vlogs where I'm really just challenging myself and seeing new things. So I'm very excited. I'm also terrified, and I'm really gonna miss Rob, and I'm gonna miss all my friends, and I think I definitely will find it challenging, but I think it's gonna be challenging in a good way, and it's something really to look forward to after this course finishes, because as I said, this course is so intense. It's really nice to know that I've got like a big adventure waiting for me, and I'll put some links down to my adventure project down in the description. Obviously you'll be hearing a lot more about them as a company and what they do as I sort of share with you the journey of preparing for the trip and going on the trip itself. It was very kindly gifted by them. But yeah, that's my plan for after the course. I'm going to Australia for 2 months basically. Oh my god, I can't believe it. I'm just laughing because it's like the least Eve thing to do ever. Like Molly, I would expect it of, do you know what I mean? Lydia, yeah, same, she loves travelling. Me, backpacking Australia, god, it's gonna be a laugh, I tell you that. The next question is, how are you enjoying your journalism course? I'll keep this answer short, but basically it's very intense. It's really rewarding and I've definitely learned a lot, and I am learning so much. But oh my god, like when they said fast track, they meant fast track. I'm definitely managing it and it is fine, but as I said earlier, I just feel like I've got no time to do anything. I feel like I've barely even got time to do the stuff on the course. This week we had our essential journalism exam and our media law exam. Media law was fine because media law was just, you learn the statutes, you learn how they're applied in certain contexts, you learn the legal do's and don'ts, and you just apply them to questions. And I think actually, touch wood, that exam went really well. The essential journalism exam, however, you have 2 hours and you have to write like 2 like breaking stories, you have to do social posts, you have to do questions, you have to do questions on like the regulatory ethics concerns of scenarios, and like there's just so much. We did 4 mocks, first 2 weren't marked. I got a B in the second mock, in third mock, and then I got a C in the final mock. I just find it so hard, and I think coming from uni where I was kind of at the top of my academic game and I'm just such a perfectionist when it comes to grades, that has been rough. But I'm actually really proud of myself because I have cried about it a fair few times, and mainly just out of frustration that I can't get the hang of it. It's not to do with knowledge, it's just to do with technique, and I just can't do it. Anyway, the actual exam was the worst one out of the 5. I found it so hard, I ran out of time, it was just awful. Do I think I've passed it? I'm actually not sure, and I genuinely mean that, because if you get one major factual inaccuracy on your whole paper, you're most likely going to fail because they dock you so many marks, and I think I did. So I think I'm going to have to resit that one. But yeah, there's lots of exams. Shorthand exams are coming up, which I'm also terrified about. It's just like you're on a treadmill and you just got to keep going. But that being said, I already feel like I'm miles better placed to apply for jobs after this, and although it's been tough and there are days where I'm sat on the train and I'm like, I just want to be in bed, it is very rewarding. So I will keep you updated on how the course is going, but I could very much do with a nap right now, I'm not gonna lie. The next question is, do you miss university or are you enjoying grad life more? I am torn. I don't think I'd want to be back at uni now doing another year, and that was the reason why I didn't do a master's, because I think I knew in myself that I was done with that type of education for now at least. And I don't miss that side of things, in the sense that I really enjoyed my degree, but I felt like I got out of it what I wanted to get out of it, and I wanted to do something new. It's weird because I miss Oxford so much and I love Oxford, but I also absolutely love London and wouldn't want to be anywhere else. But equally sometimes I am just sat there thinking what I would give to be in my college in Oxford, and just how beautiful the gardens were and the grounds, and just to be going to like bops. I think the thing I really miss is the social side of it. Like I miss having all my mates around all the time. Obviously you guys know that the flat I lived with last year, we just got on so well, and we do still see each other like once a month, but we all are very busy and we're all doing very different things. And you know, I do definitely miss having your friends either living with you or like genuinely like 2 minutes away, because now you want to organise anything with any friends. Everyone is so busy that it takes like a year to to find a date where you're both free, and that can be quite isolating at times, I definitely think. Obviously I know I'm living with Rob and it's amazing literally just having your best mate like as your flatmate, but we both do sometimes feel like that, where it's like we want to see people but they're not free, and then when they're free we're not free, and it just feels like impossible to sort of recreate the constant social contacts you had at uni. I'm really lucky that the people on my course are amazing, and I definitely love that social contact that we have during the day, but I do miss like the parties at uni and things like that. It's a lot harder to have like a centralised social life when you're not there. So yeah, I definitely miss the town and I miss the social life. Do I miss doing my degree? not so much, at least at the moment. So I think they both have their pros and cons. But it's weird, it's a bittersweet thing where you know that you probably are done with that stage of your life, but you also can't help but really miss certain aspects of it. And I'm sure, again, a lot of you that have graduated recently will feel the same. If you are relating to any of the stuff I'm saying in this video, please do comment down below. I would love to hear from you about how you feel about things as well. Last question is, how are you finding living in London? It's really funny because when I was growing up and I was coming down here a lot for YouTube, I was obsessed with London. I was like, I'm gonna live in London when I'm older. It's gonna be amazing. I used to love coming down here. I loved the buzz of it. I loved the vibe. I loved everything. And then when I was about 17, I just completely flipped the switch. I was like, I hate London, it's so busy, it's so annoying, everyone walks too quickly, and it's just really overwhelming, and I want to go somewhere completely different. I want to live abroad, or in Manchester, or like somewhere else, and I just couldn't think of anything worse than being in London. And then I came down for work experience last year for a week at Christmas, and to be fair, I feel like it was probably the Christmas that won me over. But there was something about that week, and I remember I was sat with Liv outside St Paul's Cathedral, and we were going to Zizi's with Molly and Tom, and I was literally like, this is where I want to be. And she was like, what? I was like, no, I've literally had the best week ever. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. Like, for someone as busy minded as I am, this city is exactly where I need to be in my 20s. I need to be where opportunity is just on your doorstep. Well, where I thought my friends were, but now Liv's moved to Australia. It's fine. But I just had a complete mental switch. Then obviously me and Rob started dating just after that, really, and it sort of then just seemed like the really logical choice to come down to London. And for a while, when we were looking at flats, I was thinking, oh my god, am I going to regret this? Like I hated it for so long, and now I've kind of changed my mind. Don't regret it at all. Like I absolutely love living in London. My only regret is that I'm so busy that I haven't been able to do half the stuff that I wanted to do. I was really loving it in the summer because I was such a tourist and I was going to all the cool places that you guys are recommending. I've had no time for that, and you do sort of fall into your routine. I'm trying to make a more conscious effort to do stuff. So this weekend, me and Rob are going out on like a date day where we've not really got anything planned, but we're just going to go out and see some of the Christmassy stuff and just do some fun things that we haven't done before, and that's really nice. But I just love the fact that you can be anywhere in 45 minutes from where we live, honestly. You can be on Oxford Street in half an hour. There's just so much to do. Yes, it's busy sometimes, and when my family come down, they're literally on the tube, like, and I completely relate to that, and I don't love the tube particularly, but for all its busyness, it just feels like the place that I want to be, and it's so great. I'm going on a bar crawl in Clapham. It was a tenner. You get 6 free shots. Pretty decent. You get to explore all these amazing bars, and Clapham is literally walkable for me. I can walk home at the end of the night. Not that I will, I'll probably get the bus, but I can walk home if I want to. And it's just amazing that there are so many bars, clubs, restaurants, fun things to do just there. It's great. Do I see myself living in London, like in the middle of London, like zone 2, zone 1 for the whole of my life? No. Do I see myself maybe moving a little bit further out and like living in like a commuter area? Probably. I just think it's so amazing to have the theatre, to have food, to have attractions, to have shopping. Like, everything is just around. And as I said to you, in your 20s, it feels like you really can do anything, which is why London is so great, because you feel like you can do anything, and then everything's kind of just there for you to do. So that is really, really cool. Well, that was a bit of a long video now, wasn't it? But it wouldn't be a Q&A with me if it wasn't ridiculously long. To sum up, feel like adulthood has kind of swallowed me whole a little bit at the moment, but we're gonna get there. Definitely missing uni, but also loving London, and I'm also going to Australia for 6 weeks. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed that. I know this video is probably quite confusing because it sounds like I'm like struggling but also loving life, and like I actually just was trying to articulate how I'm feeling, and I was thinking I'm coming across as so contradictory here, but then I realised that that is just what life is like for people like me at my age. Like, you know, there are really high highs, there are really low lows, there's just a lot going on in all directions, and you kind of just have to love it. If you did enjoy this video, be sure to give it a massive thumbs up, and don't forget to, why did I do that so delayed? Like, okay, yeah, sure. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know down in the comments if there are any videos that I haven't done recently that you'd like me to do. And yeah, I'll see you very soon with a new video. Bye guys. Mwah.